Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Apologies for the delay, totally my fault. That's what happens when you're watching a dead team like Newcastle United play. But anyway, we're not here to talk about Premier League football. Thank God for that. We're here to talk about grassroots, everything below that. And we've got some fantastic guests on. In fact, we've got one right now. But before that, I've got to ask you, Covey, how are you doing, sir? You good?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Just for the people that don't know, that ain't caught it, what was the score anyway, Newcastle?
We don't need to worry about that, mate. Don't worry about it. Anyway, yes, we did.
Mate, what a snore fest that was.
I know. To lose 2-0 to a decent side in Arsenal, but again, yeah.
Andy Carroll's got to finish that at the end, and he's got to take you through.
He can't finish his dinner, mate. He can't.
Yeah, good save by Leno, but he's got to finish that surely.
Yeah, the first one, especially when it's coming to you on your left foot, your favourite foot. You've got to be finished.
Yeah, that one and all, yeah.
But yeah, anyway, we're not here to talk about Newcastle United. Save that for all of them lot as well. Save that for Shearer. We're here to talk to this guy. Yeah, that guy next to us. Tony.
Hey.
Tony Gay, legend.
Good evening. Good evening.
How you doing, sir? You good?
Yeah, loving it, mate. Yeah, living life. Loving it.
Good. Lovely.
Looking well, mate.
Pardon?
Looking well.
Yeah, you only saying that.
All that paella.
You only
How you doing, son? All right?
Yeah, listen, if you keep smiling, don't matter if I ain't feeling right, I'm still going to smile. Because it's going to make simple as that. So, yeah. Now, you know me, Bill. That's me in life, mate. I live day to day, mate. I smile every day, every single day.
Yeah, it's the worst. People like you, mate, that keep other people. I know you messaged me the other day about when I was feeling a bit rough. You gave me a call and that perked me up. People like you are godsend in football, mate, and that's why you've done so well, and that's why the longevity's been there. You're going from strength to strength still. Stimo, you've got a massive game again next week, Kings Lynn. Tell us about that, mate. How have you got to this point?
Got 2-6.
Oh, he disappeared. Whilst he's disappeared.
All this modern technology. You got me. Said this modern technology. Gotcha.
Someone just walked past with no clothes on, didn't they?
Boy, listen, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry about that.
That
must be horrible.
What's all them lubes in the background as well? How many pairs of lubes do you want?
Yours, Tony.
Oh, mate, you've got fucking $5 worth of shoes up there in the cupboard. Oh, mate, Stimo's paying you too much, mate. Stimo's paying. Tell him I want a bit of that.
This is my daughter's room. This is
Oh, spoiled.
Oh, yeah, that old chestnut, yeah, that one, yeah. All right.
It's a walking wardrobe. It ain't mine up.
Yeah, that's his walking wardrobe. Oh, it's a walking wardrobe. Look. He's cake.
It's the amount I've earned in football.
Oh, mate.
Oh.
All them brown envelopes, mate.
Listen, he made with money. Any club I've been with, any club. When it comes to say like a bit of money, I swear to God, I don't take a penny. I do not take a penny in football. I never do. People might say, I don't. I do it. I feel privileged. I fucking love it. I'm actually going out with some great play, great banner. I'm out playing football, doing football. I don't need to get fucking paid. That means more than me than anything. More than anything. I've been offered money to go and coach at certain clubs. I have, I believe it or not. People think, which I have. I've been offered quite a few jobs. But I'm happy. I'm so happy. So money's never been an object for me. Never, ever, ever been.
It looks like it and all.
All them Louis Vuittons or what they call it in the background. So you must be doing all right, mate.
You know something? All them shoes, my son buys them for my daughter. Nothing to do with me. That's between my daughter and my son.
Right, let's get back to the football. Sorry, mate, I'll cut you off there with the old lubes. But so Kings Lynn next week. How did you get to this point, mate?
I mean, obviously the last two games, we've played teams in higher division. You know, it's only results.
Sorry, Tone. For the people that don't know, mate, just tell people where you are, where you're managing, what part of management team you're at.
I'm the manager. I'm at Hornchurch, and I'm working with Mark Stimson, which I've done now since 2003. I've been with him since 2003.
Legend, you know?
Yeah, listen, he's different. He's fast. You learn so much, and only a fool stops learning, Bill. Only a fool stops learning. I'm 60 years, and every session, every game, I still learn. And you know, you can't stop learning, and we've still can't not stop learning. But half the time I'm fucking about and no one else is learning. That's the problem. I fuck about so much. None of the players learn fuck all. But yeah, but we do all right now. We do all right. The game set, you know, we play teams high division. We don't fear no one, Bill. You don't. It's strange. You don't fear no one. Stimo gives you that belief. He gives you that belief. There's 11 players. Do your jobs. You know, do it right. You ain't got to fear no one. So the trophy is a special cup also. I mean, if we get there this year, that'd be my third time. You know, the trophy final is an unbelievable cup. It's a great day. The day's unbelievable. So to win it 2 times and then get a chance to win it 3 times, I'll be a very, very, very happy man. But then you've
won it twice, Tone.
Yeah. And Stimo, 3 times as a manager, once as a player, and now, I mean, that's you know, it's the cup should be named after you. Really, should be the FA Stimson Cup. To be fair, you know, his cup. He loves it. He you know, prepares right for it. He just knows the boys just go and do it. But he's got quite an easy job, really. To be, he has got quick because he's got a good bunch of good.
Yeah, very fantastic.
So we don't fear no one. We respect everyone. We respect it, but we wouldn't fear no one.
So you home or away next week, huh?
We're home, but now this home and away now makes no difference with no crowds and everything. To be fair,
yeah.
But yeah, home. Good thing about that, ain't got to travel too far. You know, Kingston, that's a long old trek, innit? You imagine losing that.
Oh, yeah.
You imagine?
You confident?
Pardon?
Because you're always going to be confident, but are you confident you're going to get something? You're going to get through to the next round? I suppose with your pedigree and Stimo's pedigree, you going in as favourites or?
No, they're the favourites. They're a league above us, but we know what the boys can do. But as you say, you know, up for some reason, it means a lot to Stimo, so he can really get players up. You know, you know, we haven't won it. We haven't done too well in the last couple of years, but I don't really like to say it's probably the best squad I've worked with down at Hornchurch. Probably the best squad I've worked with since the Grays days, 2004. This squad's unreal. It's a people squad. Wow. You know, I wouldn't rate them that much. You know, you can get made look a right idiot, but very, 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 very good squad. Very, very good squad.
Yeah.
You know, I say can't compare it to 2004, 2005, 2006 team, but this team here, as individuals and as a bunch, yeah, boy. I think we've cracked
going back to Grays, mate. They just mentioned that they've been in the news a bit lately with the old, hopefully, the return to Ship Lane. What do you think that'll do for the club?
You know, I've got a lot of love for Grays. Grays is my club in the respect. I set up the youth system at Grays. I mean, many years ago. I set up. I had one of the biggest soccer schools, the biggest, you know, in the country. It was massive. And Grays gave me the opportunity. And then obviously I'd done my apprenticeship through football for about 12 years, going all through the ages, and going to the reserves at Grays, where I met Stimo, and then he could see what I'd bought. You know, I can't coach like Stimo, but he see what I bought a person here who can make everyone love life, enjoy their football. And it's been a marriage. It's been, you know, it's been a marriage, you know, ever since. You know, I leave the coaching to him. That's what he's very, very good at. But going back to the Greys, it's great because, you know, we used to get 3,000 down at the old rec, 3,000. It was the unbelievable atmosphere. The whole town was buzzing. The whole community. It was incredible. You used to be able to walk around the community, walk around the town. You used to go to the schools, and everyone was buzzing because it had a successful football club. And you know, if you've got a successful football club, then the community they benefit. So I love to see Grey at their own home, and also Thurrock. I've been quite a few years with still out Thurrock, 5 or 6 years. So for me, for Grey to go to there, it makes sense. It just makes Greys get a great home. The community get football. Happy day.
It'd be huge, wouldn't it? It'd be huge for the club.
Tony, I've got a little, I've got a nice message to read out for you from George Young. It says, "Evening, lads. Trying to watch United game at the same time. Tony isn't a day under 70. Laugh out loud. Looking forward to our next man hug, Tony."
Yeah, George, he's a top guy. You know, I've known him for many years, many years, in different dugouts all over. A lot of respect for the man. A lot of respect for the man. Good man. And there are some good ones. There's many good ones out there. There's love.
Yeah, we're lucky to have George. We're very lucky to have George.
It's
a privilege. It's a privilege having him next to me every week. I tell you, because like you say about learning, for me, I learn every time I speak to the guy. I learn something. You know, so it's like a mentor.
You do, because you know he has some great ideas. You pick them ideas up. You want to get better. So if you want to get better, you've got to learn more. It's in anything in life. And if you can just pick up little things from different coaches, I think that's the art. But I think most about coaching me is you've got to be respected. And to be respected, you have to respect the player. And it comes easy. Coaching is the easiest thing in the world. Coaching is the easiest thing in the world. All they want to hear is the right things. All they want to hear. You know, I listen for a week, and there are certain players can take the bollocking. Yeah, it's true. And that is so. So people skills. I heard in your show last week. There's a really good point. People skills is so important. In coaching. You know, I don't want to be big. I mean, he's lovely, really, but I know in youth football, I would probably say I was one of the most successful. I mean, I've been all over the world coaching youth football. I was invited to Malaysia. I've been invited to Borneo. I went all over the world. Started mini soccer off all over Asia. I was the first one to start mini soccer off. And it was and so you're coaching every single day, and I learned every day, and I thought myself, how to become a good coach. Let them like you. When they like you, you know, you have a manager who you like, you'd run through fucking hell. You'd do anything in the world for them.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's the easy thing about life. I mean, I know you've got to be good cop, bad cop. I do understand that. But at the same time, you have to be respected. You know, you have to be honest in football, Bill. You have to be honest. I'm an honest person. Now, I am not going to go on a coaching on a playing field, and I'm not going to turn around to someone like Michael Carl, Aaron McLean, Dennis Solly, all them players, Freddie Eastwood. I'm not going to go to them players. This is what you got to do. You got to get the ball, look down, do this. I ain't going to do that. I ain't good enough to be able to tell them sort of players. Let the people like Stimo, let them do that. But my job is motivation, and I've realised then that I can get a player playing really well by just wording his.
Yeah.
You know, so I find it really easy, and I was very, very successful at it. You know, I won everything, but I won it as in youth football, from under sevens, I think, to the reserves. Under sevens, that's every year, and sevens, under eights, under nines, under tens, under 11s, under 12s, all the way up. I lost 15 games of football in all them years. So,
so repeat that for the people at the back. Repeat that for the people at the back. You only lost what?
yeah, 15 games from under sixes up to the reserves. 15 games of football, and that'd be great.
I already knew that, but Jesus Christ, that is unreal.
Yeah,
that's unreal time. You can be massively proud of it.
It's pretty much, Tony, you're the invincible. Is that what we're trying to say?
Pardon?
Proper invincible.
You're proper invincible.
You've got to have character in football. I mean, I go as soon as I get to the ground, like I know as soon as I walk in that ground, I know like the players, they're gonna a big smile because they know what he can do now. What's Tony can do now? He's gonna do something fucking stupid. It's so important. There's been times when the changing room's a bit quiet and Gaffer's turning around, don't fucking get in that changing room. Because no, that's all. I just fucking love it. Now I get all excited.
You've had a load of comments already, Tone. I know they kept popping up. I've never seen so many comments pop up about you, a legend. You got Dave Morgan. He's saying Tony the ledge. I think Dave Morgan's out on a date with Martine McCutcheon tonight. Dave's doing all right. He's doing all right, old Morg.
Listen, I'm really, really lucky. I'm so lucky with the amount of friends I've made in football. I'm talking real friends. I talk to players now weekly who played. I don't know how many years ago, but it's an unbelievable family football. It's unbelievable, And I think they say, "Tone the ledge." Well, I think it's just that I can make people smile.
Yeah.
And I've said it earlier on, we come in that change room and I'm really funny fucker and all. I'm quite funny.
Tony, got a question in here from Jake. Oh, not that one. This one saying, ask Tony who is the best player that he's coached.
You didn't coach me, so you're all right.
I only motivate you, coach you. So I ain't taking the credit. You give credit to people who deserve the credit. Listen, if I got players like Stuart Thorogood listening and Dennis Solid and Gary Hooper and all them lot, listen, this is going to be an hard one. But I'm going to say Freddie Eastwood.
Freddie Eastwood, yeah, good player, mate. What a player.
Freddie Eastwood was unreal. He was just he ridiculous. But I'd say Freddie Eastwood closely. Michael Kitely.
Yeah. George speaks very highly of Kitely. George speaks very highly of Michael Kitely. What a good player he was, and all unreal. Good career he had as well.
A great career.
Was you at Grays when Vinnie John was there?
Yeah, Vinnie John. Yeah.
Yeah, he's another. He's got to be up on your list, isn't he? Top 10.
Yeah, Vinnie. Yeah.
Fantastic player, beast.
Stuart Thorogood was probably my all-time favourite player in the respect, not for his ability on the field, because he had unbelievable ability, but as a person, we sort of we were both naughty boys, we were the wrong ones really, and we sort of bounced. But Stuart Thorogood, Glennie Paul, Glennie Paul, another unbelievable.
Still trying to get him to play. Still trying to get Glenn to come out of retirement.
But that's a hard one. But I think you'd have to go to Freddie Eastwood. Johnny Nutter, probably the most consistent player. Johnny Nutter, probably the most consistent player. Too many good. Too many. And I speak to them all the time, so they'd be fucking, didn't you? Oh, you think he's better than me, did you? Fucking hell. Like, you know what these footballers are like? Fucking hell. And back,
George is saying that's enough now, please.
Yeah. And Ashley Bay.
Well, what do you so obviously we're gonna get Cobby on soon as well. Obviously Cobby was my hero when I played because he was like a few years older than me. But he was just absolutely banging in goals every single week, and I looked up to him so much. What a player!
I was lucky. I played with his dad. He was the smallest goalkeeper in the world. I coached his son, so I've always been very, very close to the Cobb family. Always.
Yeah.
He's a goal scorer, born and born.
Yeah.
He doesn't matter. You know, there's players you look at and you think, oh, he'll score goal. You know, when that ball used to go to Cobb, if you were the opposite side, you think, oh fuck, no, here it comes. You know, players like, Bricknell, players like that, they're horrible players. Horrible players. Like same himself, horrible players. Paul wasn't a horrible player, but what a fucking player. You know,
he's like Steve Portway as well, wasn't he? They were just unreal. They just scored like 1,000 goals every season. It was like, oh, they've scored again. He scored again. Yeah. He scored 5. He scored 4. He's fucking hell. Calm down.
Against decent sides and all,
Yeah.
Week in, week out, year in, year. I mean, Paul Cobb. I'm lucky he plays in my legend side. I do quite a bit of charity on the football. I have a legend side, and I'm really, really, really lucky that because I probably get about 150 people ring me up. Tom, can I play for your side? Can I play for your side? Can I play for you? And Cobbo's always the first one he gets in. Tom, can I be skipper? And I've got Stevie West saying, "Oh, Tom, can I?" Martin McCarthy, another one of my heroes. Oh, Tom, and I said, yeah, you be captain. They fucking turn up on the day. And you know what I mean? Nothing fuck me. I told everyone they're going to be a fucking captain. Oh, you're all captain. Stevie West, to me, another great player. I remember one day he called me out seriously. Went, "Tony, no, seriously. Out change. I thought it's not like him. Pulled me out. He went, "Have you got a light?" He's looking for a light. So puts the fag in his mouth. He turns around and he goes, "No, please, Tony. Look, it means a lot to me. Look, I'm fit." And he said, "I'm fit." Watching him out, flags. Yeah, the legend side. I've had some great players play, and we've earned a lot of money over the years.
Yeah, fair play to you.
Cobbo and Carthy and all them.
You keep playing against Tottenham, though. You got to change. You got to start playing against decent teams.
Listen, everyone knows me. Don't like to talk about my goal. The goal against Tottenham, I don't want to talk about because there's other things to talk about apart from my goal against Tottenham. No, we beat them all. We beat the Tottenham. We beat the West Ham. It didn't matter whoever played the Legends. The side was too good. It was ridiculous. It was like, ooh, dear. Yeah, never been beat. So that's a little challenge for anyone out there. There's a challenge.
Yeah. Tony, got a really important question coming in from Leanne Brown. She's saying, what are the size of those Kates behind you?
What?
Those Kates behind you? I don't know if they're a brand name or something like that.
What the fuck is a Kate?
I don't know what Kates are. Ask Leanne. I think she's trying to hit at getting some of them shoes behind you.
There's 24 more pairs there on that side.
Give us a little tour then, Tony. Come on.
No, my daughter's. No, the next minute you're getting a phone call saying, "Oh, can you see what's in the drawer?" Yeah, no.
What we're going to do? We're going to give a pair away to our best listener.
Yeah.
It's going to be like Cinderella. So you got to send us photos of your feet, and we can match up the lubes to the photo. You got to do it before midnight, though. You got to get your photos in before midnight.
That's the Gucci side. That side.
Oh, that's the
have a look.
Gucci, Gucci. Guys and girls, if you want to win the Gucci bag, by all means, get equal to the guys.
And if anybody wants to come,
he's in Harvey Nichols. He's broke into Harvey Nichols, isn't he? Took his laptop down Harvey Nichols.
It was Kate.
Oh, brilliant!
I don't know. Leanne, fill us in what Kates are. We don't know. We're guys. We're used to like Primark and stuff. Primark gang,
Wait, I'm over 60. Fucking Primark. Fucking hell. We had Mr. Bryco's in our days. Mr. Bryco's. If you come out you knew you'd been Mr. Bright Goes, then you know you had a good week. Mr. Bright Goes. Name of the
Mr. Bar,
park.
right?
Yeah. But it was by rights. Yeah. By rights.
Mr. Bar, right. He's pulled that one out.
Can I ask you, not to be rude, but how long are you going to keep going for? Like in terms of involved in the game?
I will never, ever, ever, ever stop being involved in the game. The day I can't play piggy with the first team before a game or before a session, when I can't do that, then that's it. And that, as long as I can, I won't be one of them people who just turn up to football and can't do nothing. You've got to be a part of it. And if it's the most stupidest thing, you've got to be a part of it. But as long as the Lord, how long He keeps me here, I'll be involved in football. You know,
by that rule, I should have given up a couple of years ago.
it's I'm like a school kid. Tuesday or Saturday, I've got a game. It's like, I don't think people understand the feeling knowing you're going to a game or going to train. Go and train with your mate. Fucking hell. Like the other day, I think if someone's birthday, old cakes in. I went there. I grow my own ghost chilies, my own reapers, my own chili, and I just go in the chain, put them in a little, just put them in the cakes. Just things like constantly fucking them, making you. Oh, I don't know. So as long as I can keep on doing that, I'll always be involved in football. But I'll only be involved with the right people also. You have to have the right people around you. You have no chance. If you haven't got the right people, you don't have no chance. You've got to be around the right people. And
they're lucky to have you, mate.
No, it's they know that something funny's going to happen. And they know if they've got a shoulder cry, and I'll get that phone call. And I know how to talk to someone. I'll be able to say, listen. Oh, Tone, how am I doing? I have a lot of players. I have a lot of players who ring me up privately. You just got just be positive. Give them, the gaffer believes in you, which he does, otherwise they wouldn't be there.
So I'm just laughing at this. Did you see that comment, Clint, about the
my Mrs. Scotty man talking about women's shoes? So I'm guessing this is the partner of Deanne Brown.
All them shoes behind me with my surname Gay. I ain't being funny. It don't sound too good, does it? It don't look too good.
Put a pair on. Put a pair on.
He's going to as well, isn't he? Oh my gosh. See what you guys done to him.
Look at that, mate. Boy. Look at that. Oh, they look untouched, mate. They look untouched.
Oh, man, he's gone.
Oh, fuck me. Sorry, Stimmo. I've done him. He's not there Saturday.
Yeah.
Tony, you're going viral with that clip, mate. You're going viral with that one.
All right, mate. All right, so listen, mate. We're going to get Cobby on in a bit. So it's been unbelievable talking to you, mate. I know I could talk like all the people that come on. I could literally talk to you for hours, mate. I wish you all the best for next week. You and all the boys and Stimmo. Just get yourself into the next round of that. And then hopefully once all this rubbish is all done, we can come over and have a beer, and I can have a little bit of your paella, and you can show me the rest of your shoe collection.
Yeah, my shoe collection. Wait, I'll get fucking robbed tonight, but I've got the biggest fucking Rottweiler.
People are going to be sizing up your cat. Oh, mate.
I live in Brentwood, by the way.
It looks like it.
It's a pleasure. And thank you very much for having me on here. It's a pleasure.
No, I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. I think you've been done very well, mate.
Going to sit here and listen to
You've been amazing. And then sums up, very good guest, absolute legend.
Hang on, Cobo's coming. I was going to get a pillow because no doubt I'm going to have a kip in a minute. Hang on, where's my old pillow?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm just hoping that Cobo actually gets on because he's not he can't. I don't think he knows how to work the fucking phone and all that. So hopefully he's going to click on in a minute. So Cobby, this is your warning. Come on, press the button now. Instructions and get yourself on.
Oh dear. Right. So,
Tony, thank you so much, mate. Love you, mate.
Thank you, mate. Take care. Bye.
Oh dear, what a great game!
That's a proper legend of non-league football, mate.
Yeah,
loved by everyone. There'd be very few, if any, people say a bad word about Tony, mate.
Yeah, and you can see why, man. What a character. Again, trying on his daughter's shoes, love it, absolutely love it.
Sorry, mate, no, not yet.
Are you just waiting to get your next guest on, Cobo? What's going on, mate? What's going on? Thank you, everyone, for listening, shall I say, in the comment section while Billy sorts out the next guest. Everyone from... Oh, Leanne's back as well. Saying, I'll take the Rossi and the shoes. Laughing emoji.
Gosh, he's going to take the Rottweiler and the shoes.
And the shoes. Anything else? Anything else you want, Leanne?
Nothing from the Gucci section, no.
Yeah. Just shout out to everyone listening as well. I'm sure you all enjoyed Tony as a first guest. What a first guest! Again, like Covey said, we could have had him on for ages. Just great character, and yeah, just shout out to everyone else.
You know what? It's just nice to talk to people like that. You know, I've been.
I'm sure he's got some stories as well. Like I'm sure
so many. You know, just sometimes you get down and you like. I'm genuinely. I'm not looking for people to start commenting and saying don't this and don't that. I'm just I'm genuinely thinking about walking away from football at the end of this year because I've just had enough of the some of the people involved in it.
Yeah.
But when you speak to people like Tony, it just refreshes your whole mind and your mindset. You know, and you think to yourself, you know what? For every cunt in football, excuse my French, but it's past 9 o'clock now. For every cunt there is in football, there's 100 people like Tony. So you know what I mean. So you got to ignore. I find it hard to ignore the people that have the odd, like, you know, we spoke about it yesterday and the day before about little gigs people have and things like that, about staying relevant and things. This ain't about me. This fucking getting people like that on ain't about me. It ain't about you. It's about fucking people coming on and telling their stories. So if we're keeping anyone relevant, it's them. You know, we're trying to get people's stories out there and
I've already told you, mate, just ignore them. Like, you've just hit the nail on the head there. It's not about me, it's not about you. Yeah. Our names might be on the door, whatever, but again, it's the guests that we have on. It's the stories that we can tell. People in the comment section loving it. I mean, even the Boxing Day special there, the amount of people that we had on, the amount of different stories from referees, coaches, managers, all the rest of it. We've got so many other people coming, so many more people coming on, fans, physios.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's all of the people that make up grassroots and non-league football. Do you know what I mean? That's what it's about. These are the stories that we want to tell. So yeah, anyone's watching this talking about becoming relevant or whatever. Oh. Okay, cool, mate. We're making grassroots relevant because, again, let's face it, if we don't do it, who else is going to do it? Put it that way.
Exactly that. Yeah, exactly that. Exactly
anyway,
that.
Yeah, shout out.
I've just had a message from Cobby. Sorry, I'm saying to him, "Oh, come on, it's time to come on."
Yeah.
And I haven't even sent him the link.
No wonder he can't come on. To be fair, look, if anyone joining in late, I've got to throw it out there. It's my fault. We did initially say 8, but my team was playing, even though we played terrible. Newcastle United, we did lose 2-0. And yeah, there we are.
Ryan Handley's listening in, is watching in as well. Well, thank you, Ryan. Another massive, highly respected person in football, and I've got a lot of respect for Ryan. Good to see him back in the game again. And I also saw, don't let Richard's comment pass you by earlier as well. I don't know if you saw that one, but apparently my goal was the best he's seen this season or something in training. I don't know. I don't know what he's talking about. Something about a volley. Oh, maybe that was it.
got a lot of support for coming in. Obviously, shout out to you, Jake Murphy, as always. Covey, you're too good to walk away from football. You'll be in the NLS minimum within 8 years. I know you will. Shout out to you, Jake, as well, mate. I see what you're doing as well, mate. Trust me. You're doing your thing. Ryan Hanley as well, back said, Andy is coming out in those shoes when we can. Look, Tony's going to get a shoe deal by the time of this. He's going to be...
Yeah, you know that. We're going to have sponsored by Lubes at the bottom here next week.
Tony's going to get us a nice Louboutin deal. So, Leanne, you might want to be coming back more often. And with that being said, look who's joined us.
Everyone, you okay?
Mate, we're keeping you up.
Exactly.
Caught you watching this United game. Oh.
What's the score, mate?
1-0. United. Obviously.
Oh, okay. Shame.
Cobby, mate, I don't know if you've been watching with Tony.
I have, yes.
Obviously, some nice words for you from him. But obviously, obviously we speak a lot, and you know what I think of you, mate. Absolute fucking. You score goals in your sleep when we played, and it's obviously an honour for me to have you on this show now and talk to you, mate.
It's an honour to chat to you, William.
Every week, Cobby, it was like fucking hell, like. How many have you scored this week?
Listen, it was a good job I could do that because I couldn't do much else.
Well, mate, I'll tell you what, that's all you needed to do. That's all you needed to do because goals paid the rent, mate, and you're all paid up, I reckon.
Yeah, living mortgage free, mate. Thank you.
So, Cobby, I know all about you, and a lot of people will be obviously tuning in to hear your story. So, just for the people that don't know, and if there's any younger listeners watching, just tell us briefly about your career, where you started, games, the clubs you've been at, etc.
Well, I started off at Purfleet when I was 15 years old. Got drafted in a couple of times. A bit young to play, I would say. Then back in the 80s, getting kicked lumps out of left, right, and centre. But great grounding. And then from sort of 15 to 17, I played in their first team. Got bombed from the first team, played a youth team game against Leyton Orient, scored a couple of goals, ended up signing for Orient, and went back to Purfleet after 3 years there. Purfleet to Enfield back to Purfleet then to Dagenham, which is probably my favourite place of playing, and then a few other little bits and bobs from Dagenham to Canvey to Haybridge to Braintree to East Thurrock with you, East Thurrock to Tilbury, then to Aveley, and then back to Tilbury where it all ended.
Yeah.
So one or two. Yeah.
That team photo that we've got, I wish I'd have put it on here. The team photo with me and you, with me in it and you in it as well. That's like, I was like, wow. You know, when I know, like for one reason or another, it didn't work out at East Thurrock, but just to be in a squad photo with you, mate, was an honour for me.
Well, it works both ways, mate. I mean, listen, you weren't too bad yourself, and to play with someone like yourself was definitely an honour this way as well. Don't you worry about that.
Behave yourself.
All right, guys. Enough of the love.
I've spoken previously about favourite goals, etc. People we've played against. We've all got that one goal that sticks in our mind that is like, you know, is always sticks in our mind. What's yours?
It was a goal for Dagenham against Harrow Borough. Probably not the greatest goal in the world, but it just sticks with me. It's always probably been my favourite goal. I picked the ball up in the left-hand channel on the edge of the box, and not having much of a left foot myself, didn't really fancy my chances. So sort of dragged it across the box, got pushed all the way further than the right-hand side post on my right foot, and just managed to dink it over the keeper, going away from goal, coming back. And when it nestled in the goal, it was a nice feeling, and that one sticks with me. I mean, there's a couple of others, but that's probably my favourite one that I've scored out of the one or two.
Do you know roughly how many goals you scored in your career? I know it's going to be a very high number, but it must be up. It must be very, 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 very high.
Well, it's something I really, really want to find out the exact number, to be fair. I know for a fact I got 101 in 189 for Purfleet over the 3 stints. And
What?
I know it was something like 85, 86 in 160 for Dagenham. So add a few more in here and there. So yeah, that's as much as I know, and a few here and there afterwards. I got about 50 for Tilbury in a season and a half as well. So
yeah, it's got to be touching 5, isn't it? It's got to be touching 5, maybe more.
it's probably it's got to be a few less than that.
Cobby, you're being
Sorry, my
too
friend?
modest, mate. You're being too modest about a few here and there. Do you mean? You here and there?
Hey, I
look
said
at
the forwards are always modest.
Sorry.
Ask Bill.
Cobby, I didn't see. No, we had this section on the side here. I've just come up. Tony Gay has just put, ask Cobby who his favourite gaffer is and why is it him?
It's because Tony's sitting in the background lurking, mate. I've left him in there just to kind of lurk in the background. But yeah, that's a good question. Go on.
Well, it was Tony until he said he was getting his pillar out because I was coming on. So after that,
Cracking up in the background.
yeah, I played for a few. I can say I got on with some. I can say I didn't get on with some. That's just the nature of the beast of football, isn't it? Some are going to like you, some are not. My favourite manager, it's a real tough one. I mean, we probably didn't see eye to eye, me and Gary Hill, but that's where I probably had most of my success was with Gary. He was a motivator. He got things out of you, even if you didn't have it in you. He got it out of you. So, yeah, I would say him and the recently passed Ted Hardy as well. Both managers at Dagenham for me. So they're probably my 2 favourite.
Yeah, Ted.
And I apologise to anyone else that's listening or sees this that I didn't mention. But yeah, they was all great. Let's say
Unfortunately,
that.
we lost Ted last year as well, didn't we? Unfortunately, what a character he was.
Honestly, I'd been at the club 3 weeks and he'd already forgotten who I was. Didn't know my name, but that was just Ted. Ted really didn't know anyone. He just he just had something about him. He was a great gaffer.
Yeah.
Got a question here from Paul. Is it any coincidence Cobby is coming on after 9 o'clock?
I think he's alluding to not having the sun out and stuff like that. It's I think it's quite well known in parlances around our way that my nickname was Casper because I'm a bit ghost-like, shall we say.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Paul's got to come on and tell us a few more stories. I think he was getting a bit worried when there was some of the stories that might pop up.
Never worry about anything you've done, Bill. Eh? They're out there for someone to know about you.
So you're still playing. I know you was playing vets, but you obviously not now. But when everything goes back to normal, you still playing vets?
Yeah, still play vets for Little Thurrock Dynamo's vets in the Essex League. We do quite well. We've got some good players. You come up against very good teams, some good players, some people that have already been named on here by Tony, the likes of I forgot his name. Old age, you see. But yeah, you come up against some good players. A lot of players that you would know playing for people like Hutton and Parslows and stuff like that. You know, your likes of the Golby boys, Lely, Michael Black, Tommy Black, people like that. You know, come up against players like that, still playing, still wanting to do it. You know, you're a long time retired, so if you can, why not? And I do still enjoy it. I really do. So I'll keep doing it all the time I can.
I was speaking to Michael Black yesterday, trying to get him on to come on the show. He's obviously got loads to say, and when he's ready to say it, he's gonna come on. I think we're behind sort of like Sky Sports and a few other channels. But
what a player! What a player!
Unreal.
So good.
Yeah, when I go back to he was sorting out the age group. I think I don't know if he's a year or two below me, younger than me, because I'm pretty sure when we was kids he played a few years up because he was that good. you know what I mean? This guy. He's played Champions League football. And then
yeah, now he's running around with me on a Saturday afternoon. Yeah. How's his luck?
But a lovely family as well. Lovely family. We've got a lot of time from White Wan Tommy. Good players.
Two good boys, actually. Yeah, very good. Very
what
good.
What a pedigree that is.
Lot to live up to in that family, eh?
Oh, not many. So hardest centre half you played against?
I see. I got asked this before, and if I'm totally honest, I couldn't really tell you. I never really focused on centre halves or who was who or whatever. I just went out, done what I had to do, played. If I didn't score, I didn't score. They done well. If I did, I done my job. They didn't do their job. But one from a few years ago, very tough, very, very good centre half. He played for St Albans, is where I knew him, and his name was Kevin Mudd. As strong as you like. He was never going to win a header against him. He was never going to win a tackle. He was never going to push him off the ball. The only thing you could hope for was that he'd make a mistake, let you in, and you could do what you need to do. So I will say him only because I didn't really focus on too many centre halves that really worried me. Not being big-headed.
Well,
got a question.
We had them all on post every week.
Oh. Yeah, I've got a question from Brownie saying, what's the biggest change you've seen in football over the years?
Well, it's probably more off the pitch than it is on the pitch. You know, it doesn't seem to be now that people want to play for the actual team. They just do it for, you know, the extra few quid here and there. I would say, I mean, when I finished playing at Tilbury, I always said to Robbie, who was the owner of the place, I would always play there at some stage. You know, it was always something I wanted to do. And I just see that people don't really, they'll chase the money. It's not for the love of it anymore. And that disheartens me.
Question in here from Carlos Floods saying, was it at 15 years old when you started playing men's football? 15?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I was playing. I played. Well, it was actually. I played local Sunday morning football in a men's league when I was 14 years old, and you know that was against senior footballers from around the area. They would be playing for the likes of Purfleet, for Grays, for Tilbury, for East Thurrock, for Avely, and few and far between. And that was a great upbringing. You had to look after yourself in that. If you didn't, you just get beat up every week. So from there to going to Purfleet, and then from Purfleet, like, it's a great grounding. That is actual senior football, and you really have to grow up quick in that. So at the age of 15, doing that was tough, but yeah, it taught me a hell of a lot, and it was a great upbringing for when I went and played for the youth team at Orient at 17, because then it was kids of my age, and I felt strong enough to deal with all that. So yeah, it was great.
Got another question here from Jake. Shout out to you as well. What was your time like at Leyton Orient, and who was the manager at the time? Good question, Jake.
I mean, 2.5 years, 2 3/4 years as a pro footballer is just unbelievable. It's just phenomenal. It's what we all dream of as kids when we grow up. We wanting to do it. So it was a great time. I didn't play as often as I'd like, and I had a season out with an injury. I had a car accident which cost me nearly a season, but I managed to play a few first team games, which is something that can't be taken away from me, and I'll always look back on that and just really wonder how that ever happened, how someone actually wanted me to play for like their team. But it was great. The actual manager of the first team was Peter Eustace. But my first manager in the youth team, so the first team manager was Peter Eustace, but the youth team manager was John Gorman, who went on to be assistant to Glenn Hoddle at Swindon and then latterly at England. So that wasn't bad. He sort of knew what he was doing.
You like the big
funny story. It's a funny story about John Gorman. He was manager when I was at Orient as well, and my dad borrowed him some videos. My dad played in a game or something that John was in years ago, and he gave him some videos. And my dad never ever. They released me a little while after he gave them to him, and he never got them back.
Typical Scotsman, eh? Typical Scotsman, take whatever they can get. Yeah,
he went to Swindon a little while after that. My old man was like, "Fuck, I ain't going to see them again."
But that was. I was actually in the changing room at the time when he came in to tell the youth team that he was leaving, and it was there and then he actually said, "I'm going." Walked out, and Glenn was sitting outside in a car to take him away. It was really surreal. That.
Yeah.
Got a question from Mr. Morgan. Just Dave Morgan. Biggest regret in football, Cobby?
Well, I don't have too many regrets. There was one I don't really want to go into because it's a little bit derogatory on certain people, so I won't go into that. But you can't regret anything you've ever done. You've done it at the time because you thought it was the right thing. So if it was the right thing at the time, then so be it. If it turns out to be the wrong thing, what can you do about it? I mean, there was one situation I chucked a sickie in when I was at Orient and didn't go to the game, and then latterly realised that I would have been playing against Real Sociedad, who had Rene Higuita and Carlos Valderrama playing at the time. So there's a little regret, but if that's the worst one, then so be it.
It's a little one, mate. George Young saying, Cobby, you are one of the nicest players I've ever kicked. I think you even apologised to me too. Okay.
Yeah, I think I probably did, and not just the once, George. Come on.
I'm trying to find that team photo so I can send it to you, Clint. So just bear with me.
Yeah, whilst he's doing, I'll read out another comment as well. Richard Bennett saying, the word legend is thrown around so much, but Paul Cobb's name around my way, Tilbury, is legendary. Absolute goal machine.
I wanted to ask
thank you very much
about obviously the new stadium. How many goals did you score for Tilbury? Roughly?
It was 50 or 51. It was.
Do you think there's any sort of I know goals are scored a lot now, but I know with the opening of the new stadium and things like that, do you think there's going to be a Paul Cobb stand or?
I'll be very disappointed if there isn't. Tilbury through and through, lived in Tilbury all my life. Come on, I deserve at least
what amazing news for that club, eh?
At least get a statue, surely.
Yeah, outside, surely as you come into the bar. It's fantastic, honestly, Bill. It is so good. I can't wait to see the place. I just hope that my legs allow me and the club allow me to maybe even step on the turf at some stage and kick a ball in the net. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, I'm sure they will, mate. I'm sure they will.
It's all religion. Oh, I love that, man. Bill,
sorry, man.
Photo, mate.
Nah, I got a million photos to go through.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was only the team photo, each photo. I was just thinking that was a really good squad, that, mate, wasn't it? And we could have, really gone on and done something there. But unfortunately, a few things happened personally as well for me, my situation. That year wasn't a very good year for me personally.
I'm the same as you, Bill. I mean, I think we both started it off in pre-season injured. I think we only played the last pre-season game for about half hour together. And I don't think I knew, especially for me at my age, I needed to do a pre-season. So I wasn't probably in the best shape to do myself any justice. And yeah, that squad was very good over there, very good. We had chances of doing things, but it's that's a long time gone now.
Yeah, maybe Clint can put it on because it is little photos like this. I probably bore some of my followers on Twitter to tears when I put all the old photos on and old newspaper cuttings and things like that. But it's like you say, it's such a good memory, so good memories to have, haven't they?
Be loud and be proud, mate.
Must be like that, isn't it?
I actually done one. I actually did one over the first lockdown. I had a few bits and bobs, not as much as I hoped I had, and I managed to get a few bits and bobs. But that's a little side project that I'm really hoping to be able to get up and running is that I want to try and get a few more bits and bobs, a few old photos, a few old headlines and stuff like that. And I've got an 8-year-old boy that knows nothing about my football. I've got a couple of older boys, as Tony said, he trained one of them, and it would be nice for especially the younger one to see all this stuff. You know, the 2 older ones I've bored to tears with over the years, so they don't need
my mum
too much.
surprised me with my mum surprised me with a couple of scrapbooks a few Christmases ago. But if you sort of, with your one, to prepare your one, just type your name. You just Google knows all about you, mate.
Not as much as you think, my friends. Not as much as you think.
I think I've managed to
although Google. There you go.
There we go.
There you go.
On the far right, lovely blonde hair.
Yeah.
Some good players there. Very good players there.
There's some good players there. And I think one of them is still playing now, isn't he, Burnsy?
Yeah, Burnsy. Yeah, Burnsy's on there. Yeah.
Burnsy's playing for Tilbury. Yeah, no. Yeah, he's still hoping to be able to put the boots on in the new stadium as well. So, let's get the gang back together.
His physique is still exactly the same now as it was back then, I'm sure. Maybe probably even a bit less. Probably even a bit bulkier.
I spoke to him last season. I went and watched Tilbury over at Dagenham, and they done really well, to be fair. And Burnsy was fantastic. I think he said he put an ounce or 2 on, so he needed to get out running home that night. So, to look after yourself that way is something that I could never ever do. So, fair play to him.
Yeah. Message in from George said, I respect Cobby more than he would know. What a player. Never heard him talk until tonight, though. Laughing emojis. Bit of a quiet one, are you then, Cobby, yeah?
Yeah, I generally didn't talk to too many on the pitch. I was trying to run away from them, especially people like George who just wanted to hurt you. So, that's why I never heard him talk.
He was like a secret assassin. All of a sudden, you look around, all of a sudden you're 2-0 down. You're like, fucking hell, what happened there?
Yeah, that way. Never kicked anyone in my life, never likely to. Got booked once and nearly cried.
What, because it was a tenner or?
To be fair, I'll tell you the story. We played hitching at home, and we used to get done 50% of our money for dissent, but we had a way of taking a free kick where we had a signal. So I'd done the signal, which was to slam the ball on the floor, and then people knew what it was. The referee blew up and booked me for it, and he booked me for dissent because he thought I was doing something against him. And I was pleading with him. I was like, "You've just cost me 50% of my money. No, please take it away. Take it away." Tight as you like, me.
Can't believe it cost you like 800 quid for that booking.
850, I think, that week. Yeah, 850. Had to go and score 2 goals to get me money back.
Oh, brilliant. Cobby, it's been quality talking to you, mate.
No,
Neil, and you, as always. Anytime, mate, anytime.
Thank you so much for coming on. And take care with all the corona shit that's going on at the minute. Stay safe. And hopefully we'll get to see you on that Tilbury pitch when it's all ready, up and running.
Yeah, that would be great, mate. I'll catch up with you soon, yeah? You want me to do it again? Give me a shout.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely will do, mate. Thanks, Paul.
Top man. See you later on. Cheers, mate. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. There we go. And there he is, the legend.
Extraordinaire.
There we go.
Next we've got Carl Davey.
Carl Davey. Where are you, sir? People in the comment section were crying out for you. Shout out Brownie as well. I saw ya. Shouting out for Carl Davey. But we've had 2 great guests so far. Yeah, man. Come on. Mr. Gay, Tony Gay, the man who's going to get us our Louis Vuitton shoe deal. So again, shout out to Tony. I can see him still listening in as well, sipping on a copper burgle too. And then we got Had Cobby as well, the goal scoring Sean there. Could have done with him tonight for Newcastle, but unfortunately he was tied up, so had to deal with Andy Carroll. Great.
What's the Man United? How the Man United getting on? Do we know?
I don't know. Last Cobby said there was 1-0 up, weren't they? So who cares about them, to be fair.
Mickey Mouse Cup.
Anthony Murray said, "Man like Karl, we want Karl." Flipping hell, everyone wants him, do they? All right.
Anthony, that's Cole's partner in crime. That's why we need to get Anthony on as well. Hopefully get Anthony on in the next couple of weeks.
There's Brownie as well saying hashtag we want Carl. Gosh, there's the Carl fan base is on there as well, waiting for your
we want Carl. We want Carl as well.
We want Carl. We're waiting for him. You sent him the link.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, he knows where to come.
Yeah, no,
well, thank you, sir. In the meantime, again, just want to shout out to everyone who's listening in as well. I think, mate, this is like, is this week 4 that we're in or 5? I feel like it's week 5, maybe. I don't know. No, maybe. Or was he frozen?
Sorry,
oh,
I think this is 5. I think
week 5.
Yeah, week 5.
Yeah.
I think the first one was just coming on, boring everyone with my story, and then
I wasn't even. I was going to start from, because we did the 2-hour one, then we did the hour. No, we did the hour one, then we did the 2-hour one, then we settled at 1.5, 90 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's 3 shows.
Yeah, maybe 5.
Yeah, 5 or 6. So
yeah, it's doing all right though. It's going well. It's one thing I'm really enjoying doing actually. We've had a lot of good people coming on the show, and like we say, they're helping us stay relevant.
We're keeping relevant, people. We're keeping relevant. Listen, we're just gonna own it, man. If people are taking shots at Covey, you're taking shots at me, and vice versa.
What they should do? They should just come on. They should come on the show and tell everyone their story. They've got so much to say. Much to say.
When we was looking for a name for the show, we might have found it. Let's call it the Keep It Relevant Show. The Keep It Relevant Show with Covey and Clinton.
Yeah. Just don't hate. Just come on, tell us your story. Exactly. If you've got one. Do you know what I mean? And just use your words to a better effect.
Exactly. Shout out Dave Morgan, top show again, lads. Thank you very much, Mr. Morgan. Carlos has been on old school teletext and he's saying that we're still wondering up.
Carlos is our wonder kid at Swifts. He's our wonder kid, 18 years old, unreal talent. He's a hashtag as well.
Is that hashtag? Is he?
Yeah. He's with kids. He's with kids at the development hashtag development.
I should have asked. Because again, there's the talk of the town at the moment. Obviously, this is going into the world of YouTube football, grassroots football. It's like we want to see hashtag guns.
That's why it would have been nice to have Ellie on the show tonight. There's the little physio. Shout out to you, by the way. I hope you're feeling better if you're watching. But we could have done that. We could have done the old SC Dons because she's with SC Dons as well. So
no, I appreciate that.
Tonight.
No, that's fine. I'm sure that it's not going to happen anytime soon. So again, we can have that conversation. But it is definitely something that a lot of people want to see. 2 big fan bases. So
I think Cole's having trouble getting in.
Carl's having trouble. Oh, come on, Carl, mate. What's Brownie saying? Like I am the forgotten. It's Ant, Brownie, and Carl. All jokes aside, wouldn't be out doing things without Carl. Big respect to both Ant, Carl, and also Big Terry. Cool. Cheers, Brownie. Morgan saying, get Lockie on. So, okay. Tony Gay saying, I can't hear. We're not meant to hear from you, mate. I can't hear. You're backstage for a reason.
You're meant to be watching on YouTube now, Tom.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. You in the background there. Little nosy Parker. We got some. Oh, should we tell him the guests that we got coming up, or should we keep it a surprise that we've got coming up for next week?
For next week?
Yeah.
Next week, yeah. Right. So next week, for one, we've got James Beardwell. James Beardwell's coming on.
James Beardwell, big fan from DTFC. He's coming on as well.
So he's coming on. We've also got Dean Barker's coming on.
Okay.
He's gonna have a few stories to tell, and we're also going to get Jamie Leggett on as well at some point.
Okay.
We just got there's people there's so many people we want to speak to. We'll try and get obviously Anthony. Hopefully, you get Anthony to come on.
Yeah, Jake said that as well. On one of the nicest people I've had the pleasure of meeting in the game. Chris Lockwood said, "I don't go on for free, David." What do you mean, man? You're coming on, bro. Don't try that with us. You're coming on.
Lockie's gonna have a few stories. Trust me. Lockie will have some stories.
Saying, get Alan Banks on from Roydon and do a 48-hour special. 48 hours. I don't know if we've got that much time, mate. I think he's worked out how to work out his internet. Come on, man, you're letting the side down.
It's a mad one, to be fair. I clicked on a link, but it didn't work.
No. We're not doing that. The whole link didn't work when we've had 2 guests on already. So don't try that one.
I'm just saying that Newcastle game you was watching put a bit of a delay on it.
Mate, you always guest on this show, you know that, right? Yeah, look, Anthony Murray's already calling you a dinosaur, you know that, right? Fair play, Anthony Murray. I'll give you one. There you go.
Fair enough.
Oh dear, how you doing, Carl?
Not too bad, man. Not too bad. Yourself?
Well, as I said, from the Newcastle game, this is the reason this ain't water in here.
He's on a double gins. He's on a double gins now.
He's on the rare nephews, mate.
No, that's next. Yo.
How you doing, Karl? You missing?
Yeah, not too bad, pal.
Obviously missing football.
Well, yeah, mate. Gutted. I absolutely gutted. Good start to the season with our girls and got a good squad together. And it's a shame that it's all kicked in. And obviously, unfortunately, we don't fall under at that elite level, being at under 21. So we're not allowed to train. So back to the Zooms, isn't it?
Can you not do one-to-ones or anything now? Oh, you can't do one-to-ones now anyway, can you? Or can you?
To be fair, I don't want you can.
18.
Yeah, I've got a lot of under 18s. I think I've got maybe 4 players over the age of 18. So it's not happening.
No. So yeah, like you say, you made a really good start to the season. Also, I know you started the season with high hopes with Terry and yourself and Anthony. You had the TAC FA going alongside that as well. So you started off. There's a lot happening at the start of the season, and it was really a good start. And also, you'll keep that little nucleus of players together, hopefully. And when the time's right again, you just get back to it and hit the ground running again, mate.
Yeah, that's the hope, isn't it? It's just keeping players together, especially when you do have such a good start on things. It's difficult because players then start getting looked at. And once players get looked at, it becomes a bit difficult to try and keep them when they're playing under 21s. When sometimes first teams are coming calling, So
I'm laughing at you, Carl. I'm laughing at this comment from Alex. Alex said, "Good old Clinton spent 4 weeks with Covey and he's gone from Evian to gin."
Fair enough.
I like that. I'll give you that. Fair play.
So what got you into women's football? I know you've had a lot of. It's not just Charlton where you've been. Now you've been at Lewis and a few other young clubs before that. But what was it did you start in men's or did you go straight into the women's game?
No, I started in the boys' game. I started coaching when I was 16. When I was playing, I started at Tooting and Mitcham doing their kind of their junior teams over there. And that I just loved coaching from that point. I think I got my level 1 and 2 by the time I was probably 18. Took way too long to do my UEFA B, but that's a chat for another day maybe. But from there I went on to Carl Short and Athletic. It was more of the boys' game until I kind of moved from London and to Kent, then to Sussex. Around Sussex, I got involved with Lewis, mainly the men again. I was doing a development squad, the under 23s over there. But I saw the women's FS, which is like their under 18s, come up as well. And I was like, let's have a go and see how that develops, really. So I put my name in the hat for that, and they offered me the chance to work with them. And the squad I inherited there was amazing. We won the season. Bunch of under 18s, women and women's South East Counties Women League West 1. It was an amazing season.
Carl, I've got a couple of digs first, and then I've got a good question. So I'm going to do the digs first, and then I'll ask the question. So, Terry Harrison saying Carl's neighbour has changed his Wi-Fi password, so he might not get on Laugh Out Loud. Maybe that might explain the reason why it took so long. So
that's an Anthony joke, man. That's an Anthony joke, bro. That's one of the Anthony ones, man. Terry can't come with me with that one.
Brownie's come with another thing as well. He said, "Oi, Carl, you playing Football Manager on the side, are you?" So maybe that might explain it. Keep yourself busy during this lockdown period, you know.
Get me.
But again, this is coming natural, serious question. It's a good question as well. Scott's saying, what's Carl's thoughts on flipping a coin in the FA Cup? It's what the FA are suggesting as a solution.
It's one of them if I speak moments, man.
I was thinking.
Speak, mate. Just do it. There's no one watching.
Watching this. Don't worry about it.
It's a madness.
We get about 25 viewers, mate. Don't worry.
But it's difficult. It's silly, isn't it? Like,
he's serious now. He's taking the glasses off.
It started steaming up. I got all angry, man.
What you got to do? Just imagine that you're at Billericay with Scott and Terry, and use it there. What would you think about them?
It's disrespectful, and it's true. Everyone's saying, look, you wouldn't see it in the men's game, would you? You wouldn't see it happening. It's pathetic. You can't say, because you're amateur, we're going to flip a coin. Look, there's amateur teams still playing the men's FA Cup. They're not flipping a coin. The FA supplying them tests. Like it's no one else but the FA supplying it for the men's amateur side. So flip it on its head. Why can't you do that for the female teams? And FA supply these female teams with a test. Look, we're still small. The female game is still small, relatively small. But I'm sure local clubs would help female teams with facilities, because that's what they're trying to use as well. Facilities are closed, X, Y, and Z. You'll have local clubs that be willing to facilitate the female teams interimly and let them get tested there. That would allow that to continue. The other side to it is obviously, with all the FA protocols and everything, is the doctoring and having physios, which some female teams don't have. Again, I'm sure there's enough in the community that can go out there that can lend a physio, or a club can help out, or a local doctor potentially can get involved in the interim to help these teams play. There's so many ways around it. I just feel to say, it might have to go on a flip of a coin. What's that all about? It's dinosaur.
Yeah. To be honest, there's we speak a lot about managers, coaches, and players that are missing out on the game at the minute. And maybe the physios have been sort of forgotten about, really, because they're part of that older management structure.
Massive.
So you're right. There's loads of them that can be utilised a lot more than obviously now, because they seem to be the forgotten people of football at the minute. So
don't get me wrong. There's a lot that
all the physios.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. There's a lot that obviously they've done their qualification and they should receive a fee, but there's a lot still that need that experience beyond the fee. Yeah. So where there's a will, there's a way. I just think, are we doing enough to make it happen? As higher, not just the coaches at ground level, not the clubs at ground level, higher. Is the FA doing enough to support the female game in a way that they said they will support it? Telling us they're going to flip a coin, that person leading the game, it's questionable.
No. Yeah, it's just weird. It's just like they might as well have just said, go on Ninja Warrior or something and settle it that way. Just do like
you may as well play rock, paper, scissors, mate. You may as well play rock, paper, scissors. At least they'll be face to face.
Exactly that. Yeah, so it's mental. So that answers Scott's question. So the Charlton thing, how did that come about, mate?
So as you can probably tell from my little tandem a minute ago, I've moved around a bit. So I went from Sussex, I was with Lewis, and then from Lewis I moved on. I was meant to be fair, I'll be honest, I was meant to go back in the male game as step 7 with Southwick, and that all kind of fell through my work. And then from there, I'd already kind of left Lewis, so there wasn't a chance to just, let me take Lewis' job back. It was a case of I'd already gone. It was all going. I was doing pre-season. I'd set a load of things up with Southwick. Got them a load of sponsorship. Got them 2 new kits, new sponsor. And then my job said, actually, unfortunately, we're not going to give you the weekend. And I was like, you've killed me here. You absolutely killed me.
They weren't the Charlton kits by any chance, was they?
No. Mate, the Southwick kits I got were decent. They're from Macron, mate. Two decent home and away shirts, mate.
Yeah.
I should have been it. Just said, hey, give me them.
I would have been, I'm taking them with me, man. Give me them.
But no, I had to go there. So then I took a job with Worthing first. To be fair, Worthing women to come up, and that was a good opportunity for me. It didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to. I genuinely went there with like a 5-year plan. I wanted to get him into the women's national league.
Is that where you're originally from, down like East Sussex sort of way? Then?
No, I'm from Southwest London, man. I was born
just love travelling.
Well, clearly.
You're a bit of a nomad. Is that what you are?
Clearly, I'm just all over the place, man.
Networking,
innit?
Networking, is that what they call it? Yeah.
But yeah, I took the Worthing job, and it didn't quite work out, to be honest. We was able to use the first team ground, which was a great 3G. We used that for training, we used it for matches. Managed to get good backroom staff, physio, goalkeeper coaches, quality setup that we had, and it just didn't work out. Unfortunately, it got to a point, and that's the only club that I've kind of been at that I had to walk away from. For many reasons, not just the footballing side. I actually moved back to Kent. So I did for an interimly travel from Kent to Sussex and West Sussex, should I say, and done the training and matches. And then I just thought, look, it's not really working out. It wasn't the right feel for me. It wasn't the right fit for me. So unfortunately, I had to step away from that, and I had to look for something more local, to be honest. Interimly down here, I was just looking around. It was like midway through a season, so I was looking around. Got involved with again another under 18s boys side, Phoenix Sport, for a bit. Was with them, and then but I knew my time wasn't done in the female game. And a cliche, a lot of people say that. I knew it wasn't done. That's where I wanted to be. So I started looking around for kind of what jobs were going. I knew it kind of needed to be the right one for me as well. And then I just saw the Charlton job kind of pop up for the under-21s, looking for a head coach. I was like, you know, I've got to throw my hat in there. Applied for it, went for a kind of trial session. There was the trial session. You're only expected to turn up, and there to be 3 other coaches going for the same job. So turned up, and I saw it was 20-minute sessions. I help him out. And I'm thinking to myself, you want me to help someone that potentially going for the same position as me? Yeah. I don't know how this one runs, but yeah, if you need help, I'll help you.
This is shit.
I was like, yeah, you need help. You want to move that goal? I want that one over there. And then done the session, and thankfully a couple of days later they called me and was like, yeah, we really liked you. We would like to get you involved, and from there it kind of rolled on. Told me the squad was all there. I had 6 players. so that was a fun season, just assembling squads and making sure we could compete and get a squad out there for that season. And then it was difficult to try and get a second coach to come and help, because I was like, to turn up to some sessions, I was getting 5-6 players, and I was like, can I really get another coach in with 5-6 players? Is it even worth it? Towards the end of the season, started getting a regular of 21 players, and I was like, yeah, it's time to up the team now, because it isn't a one-man job anymore. And then Terry and Ant came into place and built really good relationships with them, and both started working. This season we built a massive project with what we wanted to do with the team, and it's going great until COVID struck, and then obviously Terry got offered that had to go, and then Billy Ricky come up for him, which was a great opportunity for him. So I got stuck with Ant, who tried to give me banter. So now I'm stuck with him. But the team's built, to be fair. The team's built. We've got Brownie on board now. We've got TJ and Uch, which is our analysts doing real, and we've got Tegan, the physio. So the team there is quality at Charlton, to be fair. And it's great. It's a great atmosphere to be around. The players love it. Players are great as well. So I've been lucky and fortunate, to be honest. I've been fortunate to fall into positions.
Yeah, I mean, things just happen like that. Things are meant to be like that sometimes. You're meant to go around, find your feet, and then you've ended up at Charlton and this person's left. But now with the team that you've got, obviously, prior to lockdown, you're now starting to build something as well. So, fair play to you. Question in here from Jake as well. Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? That age-old question. Where do you see yourself? Where's your 5-year plan?
The plan's to be in the WSL/Women's Championship. That first team environment would be great, but I also understand that I'm good with the younger players as well. So if any sort of being in and around a kind of women's Super League or women's championship in a role would be in a full-time role or paid role, should I say, would be great. I
mean, I hear Phil Neville's like going off to America, so you never know. England, maybe.
Well, no, I've got my little ins there. Don't worry about that.
Carl, what's the biggest difference you've noticed between the men and the women's game?
I think the easiest
player-wise, not the game, not the game at players. What like attitudes and things like that, personalities.
I think the easiest one is the women's game. It's so far behind. Obviously, we know that it got banned for 50 years. It's so far behind. It's where the men's game was 10, 15 years ago. So it's the love of the game. The players that are here, they're not there for the money. The money's not massive in the women's game. The players love the game. That's the biggest difference. But when I've seen, I still talk. I've got players that I coached many years ago. Some playing pro, some not in the male game. And sometimes it is like, if you can give me an extra £5, I'll go down the road and play for Jim. Like that's not the love of the game no more. Whereas to be fair, the loyalty in the female game is massive. Like it's so difficult to hoax a player off another club and say, look, we're the better option, because loyalty is massive, and that's the way it used to be. And so that's the biggest difference, I'd say, is the loyalty. And they play for the love of the game.
And when we spoke to Sean on Boxing Day, I don't know if you caught that show or caught any part of the chat we had with her, but she sort of said that there's sometimes players can sort of have arguments and they bring it onto the pitch and say like someone stole, a boyfriend of someone, and and then it's like, I ain't playing with this. I ain't playing with this bitch.
Yeah.
have you encountered anything like that?
Yeah, I've had a few situations that have happened, and
because I've never really known that in men's football. I've never known that. It's like you have a little tear up at training. That's it, done. And
that's a difference. That is definitely a difference. It's like you said, you have a tear up in the men's game. You have a little tear up, you have a little argument, you kiss and make up, Or if you don't like them, as soon as you cross that white line, regardless, you play, and you come back off, and you're like, I don't need to talk to you anymore.
Exactly.
I have seen it in the women's game a little bit, where there are a few tiffs at the times, and
I don't think I could deal with that. I don't think I'd know how to deal with it. I don't think that's coached into you to deal with things like that, is it?
No, it's definitely not.
You've got to have that sort of man management skill to deal with situations like that.
Honesty, just the simplest thing. If you see it happening, look, you talk to them one-to-one, you find out both stories, and then you kind of have to play it by ear, and sometimes just telling them straight how it is. Like everyone, when it comes to it, it's like there's a lot of male coaches in the female game, and they can't relate to that, and they're like, look, when we played, like as soon as you cross that white line, you play, but it's difficult for them to do that. So it is being honest and saying, look, what's the situation? What's happened? What would you like to happen? So ask them their opinion. So you're letting players take ownership of what's going on now. Not necessarily what's going to happen, but you're finding out what their best scenario is. And it allows you to manage that situation a little bit differently. And you do that for both players. So you find out what their best scenario is. You put a little bit of ownership on them. If they can't tell you what their best scenario is, then you need to listen to what I say. But if you've got a best scenario, then you can manage what their expectations are of the situation.
Carl, you said
Scott just said as well. Scott just came onto their emotions. The emotions are the biggest difference. Yeah. Sorry, Clint.
No, I was going to say, like, obviously, Carl, you mentioned earlier that you moved around a little bit. What's like the biggest takeaway or the biggest thing that you've picked up from your experiences so far?
Ooh, big question that. Every kind of area I've been to is different. I think the thing that I've kind of picked up is how to adapt to different situations in different areas, and how you need to conduct yourself in different ways in different environments. I think I took that from when I was a player, though. I had a coach, a very good coach called Gideon Jackson, who's now does stuff things with the FA. He told me back in the day, he told me sometimes you've got to paint a face to suit the picture. And I think that's just stuck with me ever since I was like 16. And I think I've carried that through life.
Yeah.
And so different situations I go in, there's a picture there. Sometimes you've got to paint a face to suit the picture. I kind of, as I've got older now, I've kind of broke away a little bit from that. And sometimes it's my face or no face. But in certain situations, sometimes you need to paint a face to suit the picture.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Tell us about your proudest moment this season. I can guess what it is, but
This
tell
season,
us about your little training move that came off in the game. There's nothing. I don't think anything beats that, to be honest, does it? That feeling.
you know
where
what?
you just look round at your assistant or your coach, and you're like, "Wow."
look round. I was running up and down the sideline.
Mate, yeah, but it just goes off in your head. It's like, it happened. We done it.
I shouted at
like
the subs,
10-1
the
down.
physio. I shouted at Ant at the side. I was like, "Did you see that? Did you see that?" I said to the girls that was up in the stand, like, "You see what just happened here? You see what just happened?" I said, "You catch that on video? Is the video working?" And then as soon as I got home, clip. That was a drill. That was that. There you go. Boom. Sit that up.
It just fitted, didn't it? It just fitted perfectly. Bang, bang, bang. So that when you do work on stuff in training, it comes like even like corner set pieces and things.
Yeah,
when they
definitely.
come off, it's an unreal feeling. It's like being out there. I suppose it's the closest thing to actually being on the pitch and scoring a goal yourself. If you've implemented the drill.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of trust. You know the players trust you. If they pulled off what you've asked, they trust you. And knowing that a player trusts you as a coach is massive. It means they believe what you say. And as soon as they believe what you say and they trust you, and I've said it many a time, they'll run through that brick wall for you.
Yeah.
So the fact they pulled that off, it means they trusted what I was saying. And now I know they trust me. It kind of makes me want to give more to them. Like, I need to give you more because you're giving me that little bit of trust. So it makes you so happy, you know, it makes you excited.
Yeah. Mate, there's one thing that I'll take from past managers like Alan Devonshire. He was really good at holding court. So he was really good at holding the room. When he was addressing the team and the players, he had everyone's eyes. It was like eyes up, and that was it. You just stopped what you was doing, and your eyes was fixed on him, and you was listening. You was in the moment. You was in the room. And sort of like the photos and that I've seen of your team talks and things like that, you can. I analyse them a lot. I analyse photos of team talks and when people are at half time and that, and you can see that you're holding court really well, and the players are all in the moment. They're listening to you. So you know that's a massive thing. And I've got the same. I get the same thing from Dean when he was at Harlow Ladies, and that's probably one of the biggest difference I've seen in ladies football is that they you keep going back to the word coachable, but I feel that it's they listen more. You know, they're in that moment. They don't get distracted as easily as the men do by a shin pad or by a bit of tape. You know, they listen to that team talk. They listen to the instructions, and you can see it when a move breaks down. You can see they know where to be when a move breaks down, and they all fall into position. And I was so impressed with how Arlo Ladies done that. And I hadn't really noticed it in men's football I hadn't noticed it in men's football at all. And then when I went over and watched Harlow Ladies, you noticed it a lot. And then you notice it at Millwall. I went to watch Millwall, and you notice it then. You know, so I think that's more. They're open to instruction and listen. They listen more.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think I've noticed that as well. I've been in changing rooms where you're talking, and what I've talked, and I've looked at Browns, and I'm like, you lot ain't listening to a word I've just said.
Yeah.
And then this group, you're right. When I talk, you just know when you see eye contact, you see body
They're in the room.
language,
They're in that
you see
room.
the way they are, and you're like,
Yeah.
I know I'm talking, and you can pinpoint exactly which ones are taking in more information, which ones are taking a little bit of information, and the ones that maybe aren't listening as much. And just looking around, you can see that with and I say it, body language is massive. Players don't realise body language can be read
100%.
from a mile away.
100%. Yeah.
But it is.
And it can make up your mind with a substitution as well. Body language, just by the way they are during a team talk, and if you're trying to get an instruction on the pitch, that body language at that moment can make or break a substitution. You know, a decision.
I say that all the time. It's attitude. And I tell this to all the players I coach. Your attitude, the way you train, the way you play, can change my mind. My mind's never made up, and I think that's something that I try to get through to players that I coach. My mind is never made up. I am happy for players to change my mind. If I've got a way I want to do something, and I think, oh, play it inside, pass it inside, and you've clicked the ball down the line, and it's a better ball, I'll tell you, well done. That you're on the pitch. That was a better ball to play. Just because I said play it inside doesn't mean I'm right. And I'm happy for players that I'm very open-minded. It's all about them changing my mind, and you can do that with body language, the way you talk to me, the way you talk to your teammates, the way you train. And when you get an opportunity, it could be 5 minutes. You can show me something in 5 minutes. I've worked in a scouting game where you only get 5 minutes to watch a player. A player can show me something in the last 5 minutes where they come off a pitch, and I've said it to one of my girls this year. I was like, "You've done really well there. You played 5 minutes." She's like, "I played 5 minutes." I was like, "But the things you've done in them 5 minutes and the way you done them was perfect. That's what I needed to see."
Yeah.
Got a final question here from Leanne. Shout out Mrs. Noobs from earlier. In your opinion, does being a young coach have advantages or disadvantages compared to your peers?
Oh, thanks for calling me young. I appreciate that.
The thing is, you're not young in experience, are you? Because you obviously started at 16, and what are you now, like 45 now?
Cheers, pal. Yeah, I'm young at heart.
You started young, so you've got them years in your pocket.
I think there's advantage and disadvantage. I think, especially when you're in the senior game, which I've been in, there's a bit of a disadvantage at times. People say that there isn't, but there is. You've got to earn respect a lot quicker, and you've got to do it by winning. To be honest, it's simple as that. People say, no, it's not. It is. When you're in a senior game and you're younger and you're coaching players that are older than you, you need to earn their respect. And if you don't earn it, you can lose the whole changing room very, very quickly, which is a bit of a disadvantage of being a young coach. But then you're intuitive as well, so you've got new ideas as a young coach that maybe some people haven't seen or done before. And again, that can work as a disadvantage because players sometimes don't want new stuff. They like it the old-fashioned way. I'm a coach that doesn't shout a lot. I don't really shout. I've had players come to me and say, "We need you to shout at us more." And I say to them, "What do you mean? I don't want to shout at you. I don't need to shout at you. If you can't listen and follow the instruction, that's not for me to try and implement that and make sure you're doing it and give you a bollocking. It's down to you to understand what we're trying to do."
That's what your pre-match talk, your half-time talk, and your post-match talk. That's what they're for.
Exactly, yeah. And sometimes that has baffled me, and I've never actually understood why a player wants to be shouted at. And I think it's just because it's embedded in some players of being shouted at from a young age, being shouted at when they get older and they get to like 28 and all they've ever had is a coach shout and tell them exactly what to do on the field.
Oh, mate, that just makes me sick. Play in there.
I've had a squad like that, and to be fair, the best squad I probably coached in the boys' game when I was younger, that had a squad, and I'd done that, and that's when I was very inexperienced. I've done that. I was like, do this, and we was decent. Like 2 of them are playing professional now in League 2, so we've done it well. But what I did realise when I started to get more experience in that same season is when I shut up, they couldn't play. So I think from that, I kind of realised I don't want to be that coach. Because if you can't play when I'm not around or when I don't speak, then I haven't done my job right.
Yeah.
So I tend to be very quiet now. And sometimes you do get a look from the sidelines. I've had players shout at me, "What do you want us to do?"
Yeah, mate.
That's not for me to fix. That's for you. You're on the pitch. Make it. Find a way. Make it happen. Find a solution to the problem in front of you. Don't look at me. What would you like me to do?
Me and you, you're in there, mate. Me and you are the same.
I've shouted across the pitch. What do you want me to do? Like, I don't know what you want from me right now. Like, find a solution.
When you make a sub, when you make a sub and then someone shouts, "Say, well, what are we doing?"
Yeah, like, what?
Well, I've just told them. I've just told the players.
I've sent them on to tell you to do what to do. I shouldn't have to shout and tell everyone we're playing a 4-3-3. Changing, you know, go and explain that to them, you know. So yeah, it's different.
Oh, we're gonna have to say thank you and goodbye. We've got one more guest to come on.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Clint was keeping everyone waiting earlier, consoling himself with gin over Newcastle.
Yeah, it's that Newcastle game, isn't it? It's done him.
I really appreciate you coming on.
He's onto the rare nephews now, bro.
Yeah. You have to make
thanks for coming on, mate.
Really thanks for having me, man. I appreciate you asking me. And good show, man. Good people coming on.
Hopefully you get back to it soon, mate. I'll be
sure
progress.
I'm sure we'll meet up after COVID, mate. I'm sure we'll get
100%. Yeah, 100%. All right, Carl. Thanks, mate. Cheers, mate.
Bye.
Cool. And that was Karl. There we go.
Yeah. It's time's flying, isn't it?
Yeah. Just want to shout out to everyone else who's in the comment section as well. I had a couple more questions, but we do actually have one more guest to go. We are going into extra time. Why do I need to say that? Why did I do that to myself? Just reminding myself of the pain. But yeah, shout out to everyone listening as well. We've got one more guest to come. I think Tony's still in the background as well. Yes, I can see you, Tony, mate. Don't we worry. You might have hit the screen.
Tony's open to come back on, and he's doing a little comeback.
He loves it. He loves it. Yeah, shout out to everyone listening. Terry was saying that there's nothing like scoring goals, but when your players score from something you've worked on, it's the closest thing. Lucy Jones' goal for Billericay in the FA Cup. That is completely correct, man.
He wouldn't know anyway because he never scored any goals.
Oh.
Then he scored one for Epping. He weren't a bad goal, though.
And here we go. Like magic, here we have. There he is, Mr. Tuffs. Luke.
How are we, gents? We okay?
Good, sir. Good, sir.
How would you say?
Save the best till last, eh?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't think I can compete with Cobby, Carl, or Tony in their CVs and what they've been up to be honest. Like, Cobby's reeling off the goals he scored. He's played for Leighton Orient and that. I'm like, mate, I cooked the ball. Like, so maybe not quite the same level, but we'll give it a go anyway.
All right, so tell us a bit about yourself, Luke. Where you at now? What club you at?
I'm manager of Ashford Town, Middlesex. So we're in Old Ryman League. So we're in the Isthmian League at step 4. Before that, so listening to what the others said, like comparing it to that. So I played at a relatively good level, but whilst likes of Cobby were very successful, I am by far the worst player to ever play a level of football. And I know I am. I'm quite proud of the fact that I am. And I'm very grateful to get given the opportunities I did. So I also played men's football by 15, 16. I was at Camberley, who were in the old Ryman League back then as well. And Mikey Campbell's watching. What a legend. All right, Mikey. What a boy. So he's going to straight away test out how dross I am at football, by the way. And it also is a nightmare because I can't even glaze over that now. People that I know are watching. So anyway, I was absolutely terrible. And I was a bit like we sort of past 9 o'clock, as you said earlier. So I could say I was a bit of a bell end when I was young. And I was struggling in life in many ways, and I don't mind saying that. And a lot of my mates went and played a good level, and I wanted to do that. And I literally phoned up every non-league club, and Camberley had me, and they should have kicked me out. I was nowhere near good enough to be there. But as I said, I think they felt a bit sorry for me, and they let me stay. And anyone else that sat on the bench and trawling around after the country and never getting minutes is like gutted by that. I was just so grateful to be there. And I literally just, like, every training session, I absorbed as much as I could. Every game, I absorbed every bit of information I could. And I learned and I learned and I learned. And I got a little bit better. And I went from terrible to mediocre, which is about as good as it gets. But I actually managed to like play some games. I was actually got a little bit better, and I ended up playing for Godalming. I captained their reserves by 20. Played a couple of games in the first team there. God knows how that happened until I got found out pretty quickly. Then that was that. I played for a few other non-league clubs. And I remember when I was like 16, one of the first things they say is, look, you're not good, but all you need to do is just give the ball to someone else. And they say, look, awareness is everything. Know what you're going to do with the ball before you get it. So don't just look at the ball. Where's your next pass going to be? So if the ball actually comes to you, someone passes to you, just open up and play. And actually, my pass completion rate was quite good because of it. So it was brilliant. As long as the movement from others was there, if I had to do something myself, there was a bit of bother. So anyway. Correct, by the way, Michael. Correct. Very, very good observations. I'm a top coach. So as bad as I was at playing, I was quite good at coaching, and realised I'd taken all this information on board and things like that. And I started in my early 20s. Started coaching and managing like suburban league sides and things like that, which for my age was like a bit mad. And to dedicate it, got my first job. Moved to America, come back, got my first team job as an assistant manager, and managed the youth team of a rival club weirdly at the same time. Did all right, and at that club, I got moved into first team. They asked me to be the first team head coach, and I was very lucky where I'd just done my B license. And I thought I knew it. I thought I was ready to manage by myself, and I was actually a bit gutted I didn't get given the manager's job. I thought I was ready, but looking back, I definitely wasn't. And we had unprecedented success, really. We were at step 5, and we won that 2 years in a row. We went up to step 4, the Evo Stick League, and our aim was to stay up, and we won the playoff straight away, got straight into step 3 with like a step 5 budget, and finished on the edge of the playoffs. And I would never have been ready to do that as a manager. I couldn't have done that. And I was very fortunate to have been surrounded by, we had Millers, who was the first team manager, who's the most fantastic manager. And I learned an awful lot of him. We had a really, really good quality player base of senior players that have really been around a little bit. Michael included, who's watching this. And yes, I'll give you a shout out, mate. You're very, very good. And a lot of older senior players, older than me. As Carl was saying, what's it like being a young coach around older people? And I learned a lot of the players as well. What worked, what didn't work, what's going to be successful, what's not. And all the little what if moments. So on your badges and your B license, they'll like give you a template. But actually, the little what if moments in the game they don't really go into. And I learned an awful lot of that at Hartley, where we had a lot of success. And then, so as much as I did all the shape work in the first few years, when we got to step 3, by the time we got to step 3, we had a couple of other coaches come in. And like Mark Hurst, Mark Hurst is a better coach than I am. Like he's coached Villarreal's first team. Like there is no comparison. But I went from being almost a joint in many ways to being quite low down the pecking order. And that no issue, by the way, because these were people I was learning off. But it was quite difficult for me going from so influential for 3 years to not influential, particularly the 4th year. And there was, like I said, I was still learning in that, still involved, still taking the training sessions, but not like I was. So I wanted to go it alone. And the club helped me out. Miller's he's one of my best friends as well as manager. And he recommended me to Step 5 club. And then somehow last year, my first year as number 1. And we were second on points per game when COVID hit with 3 games in hand. I think we'd have won it, or at the very least, we'd have come second. I think I'd have got them up first year. And then with that, God knows how that happens. Again, surrounded by good people, which is, as you'll know, is it Covey? The key to this is to be around people brighter than you are, and then they can do it for you. So we did that, and Ashford said to me, look, you've clearly got like a step 4 team there. Like, do you want to have a go of us? Like, our manager wants to like give up, or he doesn't want to give up. He wants to work behind the scenes. It's not for him. Like, can you keep us up this year? So I said, all right, I'll give it a go. And this year, up to the week before lockdown, we were second. We had a couple of defeats since then. So that's me waffling on for the last 5 minutes.
Interesting, mate. So obviously we've got our group chat that we're in, our elite group chat.
Good group chat, that very strong.
We discuss a lot of things in there, but so mentally, how has this affected you? Obviously, having the season essentially closed again this over the next couple of weeks to be null and void. How are you dealing with that?
Struggle City. I've got over my sulk the last day. Up to, so this really affects my business as well. So I've always been contracted PAYE, but 2 months before lockdown, I decided to go it alone and go self-employed, doing the same work but self-employed. So I can get no grants, no nothing. So I got a choice between racking up debt or losing everything. And I've nearly had a mortgage deposit on a house like 3 times over. Every time lockdown, on, see you later. And this again, it killed me. I lose about to keep my business going. This lockdown cost me at least $6,000. That's my life gone. Again, that's me not moving out for another year. So every time a lockdown comes, I understand it. For me, it devastates me. It puts my whole life back. And also, obviously, I care about football and that, which is my life and everything as well. So I had a bit of assault. Yesterday, I had 4 days where I refused to leave bed. I didn't shower for 4 days, ate about 8 cheesecakes, a load of French fancies, just binge watched series and just had a massive childish assault and refused to move. And then I had an epiphany about 36 hours ago. I was like, what are you doing, mate? So I was like, all right, sort yourself out. But I was watching, you've seen Top Boy, very, very good. And I was smashing through it. On to series 3 and I was halfway through it. And I was, I've got to see how it ends. But I've got ADHD, as you probably noticed. And I get like, I have to do something. And I'm halfway through the series. I'm like, I want to get back to work now, but I'm like, see how it ends. So I thought, so I'll finish the series, get back to it. So I did, and it was 7:33. What day is it today? Saturday. So 7:33 on Thursday night. I got out of bed, had a shower, hoovered up, started dusting everything down. You should see my little feather duster and everything. I looked brilliant. Sorted everything out, wrote myself a students, about 4 pages long. Next day, woke up 9 in the morning, and now I'm back on it, as you can tell. Good form now. So I'll stop over the result. Got a load of A-license coursework to do. Spent last however long doing that, trying to prep when we come back, if that's 2040 or whatever it is.
Yeah, well, yeah, hopefully not. Hopefully we'll get you back sooner rather than later.
I
I'll just think
Luke's energy, to be fair. Like, I'm like flagging here. Luke's just all over the shop, man. I'm like, wow, give me some of that energy, man. We've got a question from Carl, who was previously on. It says, what defines this elite group chat? I'm not involved. So you might have to add him into the mix, Covey, man. What's going on? You can't leave people out.
We'll speak. Yeah, so Luke...
not missing much, just loads of voice notes from me when I'm bored.
Yeah, Luke putting like a 6-minute voice note there. Like, oh.
They're always really interesting.
So what was I going to say? So with the my take on this whole thing is I think you should just lock it down now, and there should not be no exceptions. There should not be no exceptions in football. It should be right. That's it. Everyone stops, and then you start again. June, July. I think if they'd have done that from the start, a lot of things could have been done different. And hindsight, obviously, we know is a wonderful thing. But I think if they would have took the stance with football as one, everyone does the same thing. Everyone would have took it a little bit more serious and probably followed the rules and followed everything, because everyone would have been in the same boat. There would have been no elite this and elite that. So you got players thinking now, why the fuck am I not elite? What am I? They're like, what standard am I playing? So I just think it should have just all been, it should have just all been treated the same. Start again, because you don't know what Isthmian are going to decide. You don't know what Essex City are going to decide. You don't know what EFL are going to decide. And you can't be like that. It's just got to be one person making a decision for everyone, in my opinion. In my opinion, anyway. I don't know how you feel about that, both of you.
No, I agree, mate. I'm like I said, I'm annoyed at the whole thing. I understand why, but so for me, the Ishmian released a statement saying we're going to null and void the season. We want to null and void the season. We're going to ask you for opinions. We're going to null and void it anyway. And it's like, I understand the reasons, but there should have been a contingency for this at the start of the year. They knew this was a possibility, and there's a lot of good ideas out there, like you just play each other once, or like you go Scottish style, whatever. But I also, I spoke to one of the directors. I got in a strop, which is what I do. And I had to go and rant to them, so I did. And they explained a lot of things to me, which I said to you on the phone, didn't I? And I was like, we said, look, you can't, if you're playing a football match, 90-minute game, you can't at half time saying it's a bit frosty, we'll stop after an hour. You can't change it after you've already started. So you can't, it's null and void, or you're scrapping it and you're starting another competition, which is what they think they're going to try and do, because the FA do want ups and downs. But it obviously depends on when it's safe for us to go out, which is the key word, safe. You can't be playing football when people's lives are at risk. Obviously, that's not right. So it's whether that's at the start of March, that's the end of March, whether that's in April. And depending on that, it depends on what's available to you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Got a question in here from your favourite friend, Luke, Mikey. Question for Luke. What was the transition like going from coach to a first team manager? Genuinely never thought you had it in you. I feel like a proud dad.
I'll ask him why. Ask him why. Well, you're hearing what? Why? Write that. That'll be interesting for me. I'm going to throw out the straight back.
I mean,
I felt like I was a joint first team manager for about 3 years. Not the fourth year. The fourth year, I filled up the water bottles if I was lucky. For the first 3 years, they realised I got a proper coach, and that was me only. So I actually found it quite tough because I felt an awful lot of pressure, to be honest. And so I had quite a good budget at Step 5. It wasn't the top budget by any means. It wasn't the top budget by any means, but it was a respectable one, and certainly a top 6, top 8 one. So there was a little bit on that. And a lot of people at Hartley, like, obviously knew what I'd done, but people outside would have thought it was all Millers or all this and that. And an awful lot of it was, obviously, but it was a very good. It was very group. Everyone had a part to play, but it would have been Tuffs only been successful because he was in the right place at the right time. And there is a little bit on that. Could you afford it? No, it wasn't that big. And so because of that, I wanted to prove a point that actually I am good enough to do this, and it was quite a scary thing. And the other thing people said was Tuffs only knows Hartley players. He's only going to get in Hartley's rejects. That's all he's going to be able to do. So I purposely at first got in no Hartley players. I literally phoned up players, Facebooked them, messaged them on Twitter, players I had no idea who they were. And I knew that were the sort of players I were after, or I thought they were. And I got in this eclectic mix of players. And I'll be honest with you, where as much as I did at Hartley, I'd never, ever, ever done the budget. So I ran the budget, but I didn't negotiate with players. I'd never done that before. And I got my pants pulled down that summer, my first year at Nat Hill. And I was, again, it was my first ever time. I'd never done it before. It meant the world to me. And I managed to get a couple of quite big names in, like for the level. And then they kept upping it. X is offering me this, X is offering me this. And they managed to make themselves even more relevant, talking about relevance from earlier on, by getting in their mates that were also good players. And because, so of course, I needed them. And then so I kept upping it. And it ended up being more money than they were worth. And I'm not going to name names, that's unfair. I would never do that. But there was one or two players that, and through pre-season, we were battering teams, by the way, and we were apparently going to run away with it and all that. And I actually thought it as well myself, to be honest. And from the start of the season, we struggled. And I realised after 2 games, 2 of the players I got, especially the ones that pulled my pants down money-wise, which is on me, not them. They've done what they used to do for themselves. But my lack of experience really showed that. I've learned a lot from that. But I realised after 2 games that we weren't going to succeed with these players. We were in all sorts of bother. But I also realised that if I got rid of them straight away, people would think he's panicking, he's lost the dressing room, and the other players hadn't realised they were a problem yet. So I'd have failed, or they would have thought it was the sinking ship. So I had to wait for the other players to realise these players were a problem, which was a real tough ask, by the way, because I knew we weren't going to win games with them. But I had to long it out. I had to wait for the other players to realise that and to turn on them. And it took about 5 or 6 games to do it. And there was a turning point in training where there was a right ruckus. And I realised they'd lost the dressing room themselves. Because we were talking about players are really important, senior players and what they think. So at that point, I managed to cut them out and went and got in players I trusted. And from there, we had a lot of success, and we won like 15 games in a row or something, because I had players that knew the way I wanted to play and I trusted and with the right fit. So anyway, long story short, the difference between manager and a coach is managing people, very different. So you can manage them as friends as a coach, but actually when it comes to the money side of things, massive difference, especially if you don't have the experience of it. The other difference was the pressure. So at Hartley, like, you know how much it meant to me, so it meant to you. Like, I lived and breathed it. I was down in the club all day, every day, and it meant the world to me. But I felt really sad if we lost, but I didn't feel pressure. And I really did. And every time we lost, the world come to an end, especially early doors. The messages I was getting from people, like awful, and it did rack up a mental toll on me. And I was desperate to be successful, and I really, really struggled with that. I really did. And it was great when we started winning and the messages stopped, and that was the most wonderful, like a weight off me. But even now at Ashford, and you know what I'm like on the side, you said about other coaches, and like you said, Billy, you're not very on it on the side. I am on it. I am very much on it. And my reasoning for that is we're only part-time. I haven't got them all day every day. So there is always going to be moments they're not quite on it, and I have to make sure we are. And things do change in the game, and I have to make sure that if they've done something that's going to hurt us, that our players know how we can counter that. I can't wait for them to get it right, because if they don't come up with the right answer and we lose, that's my job gone. So I am. Yeah. So, but I'm now 2 on it, because I'm so obsessed with winning, and it's all I work for the week, especially now I'm doing my A, and we have to do all this analysis stuff and video analysis, and it takes 30 odd hours a week to prep for a game. Like the amount of time you put into this, but come Saturday, I've got all this on my shoulders, and I just want to explode. And I wasn't actually doing the players any favours. So what I now do is I go and sit in the stands for the first half for as long as I can and just let them play, because I do think they need more guidance possibly than some do, but they don't need too much. And then after half an hour from me sorting, then I'll come down. But my players, we're very close. And if I'm going too much, they will literally turn around to me and they'll go, Tuffs. And I'm like, all right. And that doesn't bother me. We're close enough to do that. But yeah, so in conclusion, managing players and managing money is a big thing. The stress and the weight on your shoulders is massive. And also the stress of managing players that might not be playing and feeling like you've let them down. So if we're going away in a massive FA Trophy game worth thousands of pounds, and there's a big crowd there, 500 people or whatever, not 500 this year because of COVID, but it's like, all right, 200-300 people we've had, and they've come all that way, 3.5 hour coach trip, and they're not getting on, and they got 3.5 hour trip home. That's hard to manage. That's scary. So that was really. So I had an example of that, and it's broke my heart, by the way, doing this. And so we played a team away in the FA Trophy in Essex, which is 3 hours away from where we are, and it was again worth £3,000 to the club. We got, I think it's the third quarter. It was like 2 off the first round proper. And we've got a good player, a really good friend of mine, but he come back from injury, and his issue, even when he's not playing, is even when he is fit, is his transitions. Okay, so he'll go forwards, we'll lose the ball, and it will take him 1, 2, 3, 4 to get back in. That's too late, especially like the team we're playing against the counter-attacking side. We're 0-0, and the game is open. And what he's really good at is he's good at running in behind. But the wind was blowing against us. So his talent, which is the one going in behind and driving, wouldn't have been relevant in this game. However, his weakness was going to be massively relevant. And we would, the gap between our fullback and winger would have been exposed. So I went with another player that was more technical, that would be just more solid. Not necessarily a better player, but for this game was the right player. But my heart wanted him to play. And I did the cardinal sin as a manager, and you see it on youth games, it winds me up with kids, because the kids should be playing. Their first team is still relevant, and you're saying, get warm, you come on in 5. And they go and they get warm, they're getting excited. 5 minutes, give me another 5. And I'll keep leading up, and I keep going, right, I'll put him on for this player. And my assistant manager, my coaches, you say you're only as good as the people around you, they're bright as buttons, and they also understand me. And they kept saying, Tuffs, you're not doing this because of your head, you're doing this because of your heart. You cannot do this. I'm like, well, we could put him on for this player. No, Tuffs, that is not, there's no logical reason for this. Stop doing it. Stop force feeding it. Give me another 2 minutes. I'll think of another reason. And they'd be like, you can't do it. And eventually, obviously, finals, we won it. What the decision we made changed it, and we won it, and we won 1-0. And obviously, I was buzzing, and I gave it one of them for distance, didn't I? Right? But at the end of the game, he's not celebrating. And I said to him, and we're very close, and we over communicate. And this is where, as a player, I've not played the level, so I don't know the things as a player that maybe others do. I think I do, but not quite the same. And I understand that. So I spoke to one of my senior players, and I said, should I now go and speak to him? Because we've got a little song after the game, and he's not singing. Should I go and speak to him? And he's like, you can't speak to him. Like, if I were you, there's nothing you can say that will make him better now. So I thought, okay, so I listened to that advice and I left him be. But I'm hurting so much inside. And I never got that hurt as a coach. There's another difference. If they didn't play, I felt sorry for them. But if they don't now, I especially in a big game, it hurts me, and I've got to get over that. And I understand that's my job as a manager, but like I understand this means a lot to these players as well. Like it means a lot to everyone. And the coach journey home again, I really want to speak to him. He sat there by himself, and again, people were like, "Tuffs, don't speak to him." And he ended up nearly leaving the day or two later, and he's like, "You didn't even talk to me or this and that." And I was like, I said to him, "I felt really bad, mate, but I spoke to the people." And he said, "Don't speak to him." He said, he's right, I do. My decision I made was the wrong one in that moment. But we spoke, and I also told him I thought he was a dick for being that, because we just won a game as a team. He appreciated that as well. But I could have done it differently. So there's another difference. So differences are money, dealing with contracts, massive, massive difference. Pressure from external influences. Pressure from yourself wanting to get to the top, and your name meaning something, like your name and your success meaning or breaking you, and also the pressure of doing what's right for your player group. The right thing for the group was winning the game, but the right thing for the individual, I broke an individual, which hurt. So that's very tough. There's so many different facets to think about.
Yeah, mate. The way you've just analysed that, it's just made my mind go whoa, and that's the level of detail that you go to is unbelievable. That was amazing listening to that. Trust me, I just learned so much from just listening to that. The way you analyse that, why you didn't play that player, and it just makes sense. Totally makes sense. So fair play. And I don't know whether you, since speaking to you, it's like, do you think sitting on that bench as much as you did has benefited you as a coach, because you've seen, you hear and see, you was closer to the coach and manager. You was closer to the coach and manager than anyone on the pitch, and you could hear what they was discussing. You could hear what decisions they was about to make, and you could hear them talking about the game and what was going on.
You're talking about Hartley when I was the coach.
When you were playing,
as a player, yeah,
as a player, do you think it benefited you sitting on that bench for you now as the person you are now?
Yeah, massively. It gave me a basic foundation, is what it gave me. So like, I don't sound stupid, but coaching, they were very good coaches, but coaching back then isn't the standard it is now. So what was really detailed then wouldn't be detailed now, but it'd be detailed to a 10-year, 11-year-old. I mean that respectfully to people that were coaching me, who are very good coaches, and I owe everything to. But their details around ball work, on the ball and around the ball. Which, if you want to make it an advanced or elite level, you're looking at on, around, and away from the ball. And football really didn't understand that little external factors further away back then. So they taught me things like awareness, knowing what you're doing the ball before you get it, receiving priority, that sort of thing, and basic shape, which it didn't help me. It helped me get to a certain level, which got me to say to a Hartley, where then from there, I had people a lot more advanced that I could then start fitting in the missing bits to the jigsaw, if that makes sense. Those little
makes sense. A couple of things we wanted to touch on, I spoke earlier about as well. Your sponsorship deal you've got with Attitude Mag.
Oh, stop it.
That's, you know what I mean? That's unreal.
Yeah, that was unreal. I'm so surprised.
The newspaper, the tweet about the newspaper. How did the sponsorship deal come about?
Well, everyone knows I'm a massive gay, because I'm obviously the only one that's stupid enough to have come out as a kid, and I couldn't take it back, could I? So here we are. And so because of it, because obviously I'm at a reasonable level, I guess, and I'm out, every football we homophobe, every rainbow laces, my phone goes mad, and I get, whether it's 5 Live where I have to have a conversation and pretend I know what I'm talking about for a few minutes. So anyway, they all picked up on it, and the owner of Attitude Mag messaged me, and he said, "Look, we know where you're at. We really like you. We've been watching what you're doing. We think you could have a future. We know you're on your A license at the moment. Would you like us to sponsor it? We know it's quite expensive." And I said, "Thank you very much." I guess a lot of the watchers here don't really know Attitude Magazine. Maybe some of you do. It's a gay magazine, but like it does, like, it's gay culture, gay celebrity, yada yada. But they sell over 1 million copies a year. Like in our environment, it's huge, and like it's like Lady Gaga, Tom Davey, like, and to be in that, it was crazy. And then in return, I had to do an interview for them. And it turned out they had, so for their New Year's edition, they had like top 10 like LGBT in the country for different areas, whether it be like music or culture or whatever it is. And obviously I was in sport somehow. And God knows how, like the people, like other people in the top 10 were people like Tom Daly, and like the guy got like gold in blooming the athletics, the swimming and that. I somehow got first. They had 4 pages on it. So like that was unbelievable. So they paid my lace and done that. And then since that, obviously the tabloids have started saying things. So obviously got a lot of death threats and things like that from that. So anything ever happens, I'm very popular with the Russians and the Middle Eastern contingency, and how I get loads of messages there. And it was fine back in the day, right? Because it was in Arabic, and I can't read Arabic. Surprisingly, I can barely read English. But Twitter have annoyingly put this translate button before I can read the abuse. But now I can just translate, and it's just there. I'm like, oh, wow, cheers, mate. So I did that.
You got another nice message from this guy. Oh, hold on, translate it. What?
Yeah, right. Most of them are threatening to hang me. But I offered 3 tickets, and then in return, and the other day, some guy from Nigeria was threatening to do all sorts to me. And by the end of the conversation, he wanted a trial. I was like, mate. I wanted a trial. That was a good one. But anyway, so I woke up the other day and I was getting stick from English people, or people like from like English-speaking countries. Anyway, that's a bit weird. I don't usually get that, not as much anyway. And I found out I was in the Star, and they wrote the most horrendous piece ever. I was like, shocked. So I was just woken up to like loads of it's Adam and Eve. Just like, yes, I'm well aware of that. Cool.
So all that going on about the old changing room. Oh, we deal with it with changing room banter. Oh, yeah. Fucking hell. Yeah, the manager walks in the shower room doing a windmill. Yeah, it's all banter.
Oh, Willie's too small. Mike knows what it's like. What sort of dressing room like? It's the least PC dressing room ever. See, that's what a lot of people think about gay people. Well, I think that's one of the reasons they think they can't succeed in sport. They're not going to cope with the environment and the culture. But obviously, I'm an awful human being, so I fit right in. So it's fine. But now
you've come across unreal. Your knowledge of the game, and how you've just spoken about the game and your management style and how you coach is just unbelievable. And I know that there's going to be people watching that would have taken that a lot from that. So I really appreciate you coming on. It's been amazing speaking to you. It's been amazing getting to know you recently. And hopefully when we get back to normal, we can meet up and share a pint or two.
All over
but
that.
I really appreciate you coming on, mate.
Cheers, you too. Thank you for having me. Have a lovely evening. Take care.
Thank you, mate. Ledgley. Thank you, mate. Wow.
Yo.
That's now you understand, or now I understand that elite level. You know, obviously he's not, his club's not in elite level, but he as a coach is unreal.
Just the way you broke that down. I mean,
the way he broke it down, the detailed way he broke it down, I could never do that.
I couldn't get over his energy. I was just trying to follow him. Like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
what a guy. So glad we've got him on. I know it's gone on for a long time. Hopefully we've still got some people still watching.
Still got some people watching. Still got Tony in the background. I can see Tony, mate. Still see it, yeah. Yeah, man. Wow.
Yeah, sorry that we went over time and that, but
no,
it was worth it. It was well worth it.
Definitely, man. Again, I want to say thank you to all of our guests, from obviously Tony, who's still with us now, to Cobby, to Carl, and then obviously Luke just now as well. So again, thank you very much for still sticking with us. And again, if you're watching it back, make sure you follow everyone that's been on. Make sure you follow us on all socials. And again, like we said in the middle of the show, we've got a couple of guests lined up for next week as well. Come in. I'm sure we'll have a couple more as well. So thank you, guys.
Yeah, send me a message as well if there's anyone's listening, anyone's still watching, and you think that you want to come on, or you want to nominate someone to come on. Just let us know, because we're always looking for decent people, and we always get decent people, as tonight's show has just proved again. So we are relevant for another week, Clint. We've done it.
We are relevant for another week, indeed. Thank you very much. Signing off for the relevant Grassroots people. Thank you very much. Good night.
Good night.